myself. My name is Bond. James Bond is looking at you, kid.
The Force will be with you, always.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
You are tearing me apart, Lisa!
Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another. I see you laughing, motherfucker.
I was literally about to be like, wait, let me do the host.
Okay, so as you guys can probably see if you're watching this video, we're back. Number one, we're back, and that's the most important thing. Number two, we're trying something a little differently here. We're trying our first video, and it's because of COVID-19 and us following social distancing, like normal good people.
Some of our friends don't obey that.
We have decided to come up with an alternate way to do this. And we thought, why not through Discord and Twitch, which is pretty much what we're doing. And we're going to see how this goes. So welcome back. We're glad to be back. We've watched a lot of stuff that we're excited to talk about and show with you.
What was our last episode?
Harry Potter Marathon.
Yes. And that was a while ago. That was like, what, a month ago? 2 months ago?
That was probably like close to 2 months ago. So now you guys, so now you guys can put faces to the voices. I can see John. I can see John Keg. John Keg cannot see me.
But I can imagine what he's looking like.
He can imagine what I'm looking like. But I don't have to imagine what he looks like because I can see him. And you can see him. Unfortunately. Alright, so we're going to be doing things a little differently here. Palm Springs just came out on Hulu. And I guess that was the catalyst that sort of sparked the return. We were always going to come back, obviously. We weren't just going to stop this. Like, if you follow us on social media, which you should be doing. If you're not following us on social media, shame on you. We're going to plug
Instagram,
in Instagram, Twitter,
Backlot.
Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. You only have to follow me on Twitch. You don't have to worry about John Keg. Our YouTube, which this is going to be uploaded on. Go ahead and listen to the end of the episode. We're going to go ahead and plug all that stuff at the end of the episode.
No, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, don't do that in the middle of the episode.
Inside Backlot.
You made me lose my train of thought. Fuck! You always do this.
That's why I'm here. That's literally why I'm
here. That's literally what all you're good for.
I just disrupt it.
We were always going to come back. We just didn't really know what we were going to come back for. We were each dealing with a couple things that we kind of had to focus on first before we came back into this, with full force. But we were talking about, us coming back, us doing things a little differently, revamping our website, which by the time you listen to this will have already been revamped. Just a couple little things here. Plus, at least in my opinion, some of the stuff that's come out during this quarantine, some of the stuff that's come out, like directly to Netflix, Hulu, HBO Max, whatever, has been kind of lackluster in my opinion. Until Palm Springs.
Yeah.
Right. At least that's my opinion. I don't know. I'm sure John feels the same way. You guys might feel differently. But I guess, we were like, okay, I think, one, this is something that's really worth talking about. And we each saw like a bunch of different things, as you could probably see in the tabs, that we thought should be talked about. So I guess that's enough of an intro. I think we just get into it now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, there's part of the main reason why we haven't really recorded too is like we're so used to reviewing movies that have come out in theaters. Yeah. Obviously, there's no movies coming out in theaters, and like you said, everything has been coming out on Netflix and and Hulu and everything has been kind of lackluster, other than Palm Springs. So that's why I'm actually excited to do this episode. It's actually a good movie that came out, and I'm excited to talk about it.
Yeah, and I saw some good movies, some bad movies. So I really am excited to talk about all of them. And I think that's enough of an introduction. Like I said, it's already been like 5 minutes. So let's just get into it. John, all right, I'm going to start with, I guess we could alternate on things that we watched.
That's fine with me.
Like I'll go one, then you do one.
So what you want to talk about first?
Okay. So I guess I'll start with the first thing I sort of watched, at least this month, because I think this month, out of all the months we've been in quarantine, I've watched the most in. And as you can see, I have my Letterboxd open up here, which I'm also going to plug at the end of the video. It'll be in the description box below. It feels so weird, like talking like in YouTube, like jargon and slang. Like smash that MF like button if you like this. If you like this content,
like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe if you like this content. You want more of it.
Which, if you are watching this right now.
Oh no, yeah, I'm actually not trolling. Like hit that motherfucking like button if you like this content. And if you're listening to this like on a podcast, like on a normal podcast, one, I'm sorry, and two, you should still do it anyways. So, the first thing I watched sort of this month was Hamilton. The original stage play. Recorded live, I don't know when. Came out on Disney Plus, like earlier in the month? I saw it like 2 days after it hit Disney Plus, so it must have been
like 2 weeks ago?
Probably 2 weeks ago. I saw it literally like maybe 2 days after it came out.
Yeah.
So Hamilton starring Lin-Manuel Miranda, Leslie Odom Jr., Renee Elise Goldsberry, Daveed Diggs, who, in my opinion, besides Leslie Odom Jr., was the standout performance. And Hamilton is Hamilton, right? Like, there's like a certain stigma, or like a certain sort of like aura around Hamilton, right? Like it carries the same weight that like Wicked carried, I don't know, like maybe like 10 years ago, a little more than 10 years ago. It carries the same weight that Phantom of the Opera carried when Phantom was a big thing.
It's huge.
Yeah, it's Hamilton. It was the Broadway play. It was the thing to watch, if like on Broadway. If you were going to go to a Broadway play and you watched Hamilton, it was like damn, like it's like a big thing. So for it to even get released on a streaming service, which is not the norm for these sort of Broadway plays, it was big news. It made a lot of people definitely happy because, one, Hamilton tickets were really fucking expensive. It was really hard to watch Hamilton. Even like the touring production, it was still expensive, like here in Miami.
It's all the big Broadway plays that that are like critically acclaimed, so hard to get tickets for. It's almost impossible unless you know somebody or you just have a lot of money. It's all like I've tried, like when I was planning my trip to New York a couple of years ago, we were trying to I forget what play we were trying to see, but even then it was like a smaller play and it was so hard to get like good seats, good tickets for a decent price, you know what I mean? So Broadway plays, especially the big ones like Hamilton, Phantom of the Opera, like it's so hard and so expensive, but it's an experience that I feel like a lot of people would love. Like I feel like if I went and saw Hamilton live, like I would just appreciate it and just let it all sink in, you know what I mean? Like just feeling that experience of being there seems like such a fun time. And
have you seen any plays live? Like it doesn't have to be in Broadway. It could be at the Adrian Arsh, the Broward Center of Performing Arts.
Damn, I saw one a couple years ago and I don't remember what it was. I've seen like maybe 2 or 3. I don't think it was anything, crazy, but I've seen a few, but nothing, like Hamilton and all these other like Phantom of the Opera, all these different like these are high production Broadway plays. Like I don't think I've ever seen anything on that scale. But I've seen a few things.
Okay.
I just can't remember anything.
So like I've seen Lion King here at the Adrian Arsht. I saw that.
How was that?
It was really good. It was really good. I saw Aladdin earlier this year, actually, at the Broward Center of the Performing Arts, which was surprisingly good. There were like a few like different twists to it, a few little different things. Like Abu isn't in it. The flying carpet is only in like 2 scenes. But
A whole new world, I'm assuming.
yeah, it was in a whole new world, and like literally like the very end.
Gotcha.
But it was still very good. And I saw Jersey Boys on Broadway like a couple years ago. It's different seeing, the play obviously in person and then seeing like a film adaptation of it. Like the best example I could give you is maybe Jersey Boys, like the Clint Eastwood movie that came out. I don't know what was it, like 4 years ago.
Yeah, it was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, I watched it like a little bit after I watched Jersey Boys the first time in New York, and like you could definitely see some of the differences. I actually think Lion King is the inverse, because my personal opinion, and I love Lion King, like the animated movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, and I'll say that the Broadway edition of it is arguably just as good as the movie, if not better. I would say that that's like probably the only exception. But in this case, for Hamilton, what you see in that theater is literally what you get in this movie.
Really?
Well, I mean, it's literally like a recorded stage performance. It's not like if they made like a Hamilton movie where, the runtime would definitely be shorter, because this movie, like, or the play, runs at like 2 hours
like
and
3
45
hours,
minutes.
right?
It's really long. But honestly, you don't really feel the length. But
don't most plays, like especially like the high quality ones, have a intermission in the middle?
yes, this actually, like, the movie does have an intermission. It's like a minute long, which I appreciate.
Oh, so so it's like you can pause it right there.
Yeah, go to the bathroom, get your snacks. I actually really appreciate.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. But like I was saying, in the case of Hamilton, like what you're seeing, on that stage at that moment is really what you get in this movie, it being, recorded. And for it being a recorded stage play, it was surprisingly really well done. You really get the vibe that you're sitting in that audience. But I think to a certain extent, obviously, it's one thing being there and experiencing all that in person. But I think being able to see it with the editing that this film had, because obviously besides, the performances, the music, the stage production, the costume design, the one thing that really surprised me in this was the editing. I feel like this film was really edited by someone who genuinely enjoys the play, someone who really understands Hamilton,
Broadway or plays,
or maybe not even plays themselves, but just Hamilton in particular. I feel like this was edited by someone who really knows how to capture like a moment, like in some instances it'll be a close-up of Leslie Odom Jr. as Bill Burr when he's performing a song, and you could feel the intensity in his face, but they also know when to cut back and when to have a wide shot of the stage and really let the audience at home sort of marvel at the production and the stage production, going into this, because the stage production is outstanding in this. It has like you haven't seen it, right?
No, but I plan on seeing it very soon here.
So it has a rotating floor, like part of the floor is like rotating.
Yeah.
So like most of the time that they're actually rotating, the camera will cut to like a wide shot of, showing everything, showing everyone rotating. But then let's say Lin-Manuel Miranda comes out and he's giving like a powerful performance. It'll boom, cut right close up of his face We could see the emotion on him. And it was, you know, the editing really knew when to let a moment be a moment, when to capture the intensity on someone. And I really appreciated that. Obviously, like, if you're watching it in person, you can't really get that same experience because your eyes aren't fixated on, like, when you're watching it at home, your eyes are fixated on what the screen is showing you. If you're watching it in a play, obviously, you know, maybe, yeah, you're focusing on the performances, but, you know, naturally, some of the times your eyes wander and whatnot. You know, you're looking at the stage, you're looking at the costumes. Whatever,
yeah, it's overwhelming, like, and not in a bad way, but it's just that's just how the productions are for Broadway plays. It's they're trying to capture an entire experience, so it's sometimes it could be hard to focus in on, you know, one character, one person.
Yeah. So the editing,
that's actually, I like that, like what you're saying about the editing. Actually, like, that's actually pretty cool, because it in certain ways it's probably better to watch the movie than to actually see it in person. But I would still 100% recommend seeing it in person, because it's just completely different experience. But that's actually good to know. That's actually pretty cool.
So the editing was outstanding, top notch. Now, me personally, I never once listened to a single song from Hamilton, ever. Like, before I watched this, I had not heard a single song from Hamilton. So,
but did you know, like, the story?
Oh, yeah.
Everything about the. I mean,
I know who Alexander Hamilton is. I know who Bill Burr was.
Aaron Burr.
Did I say Bill Burr?
Yes. Can you imagine Bill Burr being in the play? If he showed up.
Alexander fucking Hamilton! Fucking, okay, I know him. I know who
that would
Aaron
actually be
Burr
some good
is.
stuff. That'd be some good stuff.
I know
I would pay to see that.
I would pay to see that too.
So, but other than knowing the story, you kind of went into it
like,
blind.
I didn't know George Washington was in this. Like, okay, all I knew is I knew who Alexander Hamilton is. I knew who Aaron Burr is. Spoiler alert, I know Aaron Burr kills Alexander Hamilton in real life and also in this play. That's all I knew. I didn't listen to any of the music. I didn't even know George Washington was in this. All I knew was Lin-Manuel Miranda, really good music, diverse cast. That's literally, like, all I knew going into this. So, like, I kind of went into it, and, you know, I had that, oh, Hamilton is amazing. Hamilton is you know, Hamilton, it's this great thing, like, you know, in the back of my mind. And I guess subconsciously, I was kind of setting it up for failure almost. And, like, it kind of shames me to say it, but I was sort of thinking, like, how good can this really be? Sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I was really surprised.
Good.
If I'm being completely honest, I was really, really surprised. And I actually just realized right now that my letterbox isn't signed in, so you can't see what I rated it, but whatever, that's fine. But the music was fantastic. The performances all around were great. As good as Lin-Manuel Miranda was, I think Leslie Odom Jr. and Daveed Diggs are the two best performances in the entire show. I think those are incredible. But I do think Leslie Odom Jr. really is the standout as Aaron Burr. I think he blew it out of the water. I really enjoyed King Philip a lot, played by Jonathan Groff, who is Kristoff in Frozen. Yeah,
really?
Yeah, Kristoff is in this, and the actor who plays Moana's dad in Moana is George Washington in this play.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't know that until after. All around, very, very good performances. The music was outstanding, top notch.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the film yet, but, like, I've seen like the little commercials and not commercials, but the little ads that you get on Twitter and Instagram of Hamilton. And I'm like, I have all these songs stuck in my head now, and I haven't even seen it. So
you
that's how you know you're gonna get like I know once I see like I'm gonna probably have these songs like running through my head, just singing it out loud, like if I'm in the bathroom or something.
like I tweeted like I think like literally right after I watched this movie was like if Cats is like one side of the Broadway movie spectrum, Hamilton is all the way on the other side. Like literally all the way on the other side. I really, really enjoyed Hamilton. It's hard to rate it as a film, it being a Broadway play. But I will say personally that it's the most I've enjoyed. Well, up until that point, it's the most I've enjoyed a film that came out in 2020 up until then. It's really, really good. It is a little long, but honestly, you don't really feel it. I will say that I think musically the first half of the movie is better than the second half, but I think production-wise and performance-wise, I think the second half is better than the first. And if I have to say one complaint, my one complaint about Hamilton is I think the very, very last line of the movie, I think it loses its power and its weight watching it at home rather than watching it in person. I'm not going to say what it is because it's supposed to be this like aha moment, like, oh my God. But I think that moment is sort of lost when you're watching it on a screen. I don't know if it's because of the take that they used in this movie. I don't know if the line just wasn't delivered well enough. I don't know if the line just didn't, if it was just done abrupt. It is kind of done abruptly. But I think the power of the very last line is sort of lost in this translation. That's my biggest complaint about it.
Gotcha.
But like you can't see the rating here, unfortunately. But if I had to rate it, well, I did rate it. I give it a 5 out of 5. Hamilton on Disney Plus. Watch it if you haven't. It's really, really good.
Awesome. That was a good review. Oh, so lately what I've been watching, I've been watching everything, man. Like, you know, like I literally just watched all today the Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich documentary on Netflix, which I'm not gonna really get into. But that was an interesting watch.
I haven't watched that yet.
Yeah, I recommend it. It's good. Like I feel like you learn a lot. But one or set of movies I'll review it real quick that I watched with Bree was the Dark Knight series, because she had only seen I think the Dark Knight, so I don't think she saw Batman Begins and the Dark Knight Rises. So I was like, okay, that means all three of them are some good movies. Let's watch them. So yeah, we rewatched them, and I have some thoughts. Like, you know, it's been a couple of years since I've probably seen it. I mean, the Dark Knight I'll rewatch here and there. Batman Begins, if it's on TV, I'll tune in here and there. But you know, rewatching it from scratch, like I'm trying to like watch it with a fresh mindset. You know, it's been like 15 years since Batman Begins came out, right? Like it's been a long time. Has it been
15 years?
I mean, let's see. The movie came out in...
Has it been 2005? God.
Yeah. We're old.
Damn.
But yeah, I mean, just watching the series, I think I texted Steven, like, after I watched Batman Begins, I was like, dude, Batman Begins might be the best movie of the series. Like, the one thing that I really like about Batman Begins is the city itself, the atmosphere of the entire movie. It really feels like Gotham. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get that feeling. And I think they completely changed the set of where they filmed, like, or the location of where they filmed in the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, other than, like, compared to Batman Begins. Like, Batman Begins, where were they filmed at? Like, Detroit or something? Chicago? Like,
Chicago.
I don't think they filmed Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises there.
I think the Dark Knight and the Dark Knight Rises were filmed in Chicago. I don't know where Batman Begins was filmed.
Okay, because I don't know. Like, do you get that feeling though? Like, the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, I don't feel like it's Gotham. I just feel like they're like just in New York.
So I will say this. I don't think Batman Begins is the best movie out of the trilogy, but I will say I think it's the best depiction of Batman in the trilogy, which I think what you're trying to say right now.
Well, yeah, it definitely like that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, pretty much. It's just like the whole thing that I'm trying to go for is like the way Gotham City feels. Like I don't get that. Like I don't. I feel like I don't. I've never really experienced how like Gotham feels like in the comic books in a movie, other than maybe like the old Batman movies like Michael Keaton. They've probably done the best
I
job.
feel like the things that best capture that are the Arkham games, Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight.
Arkham Knight. Yeah, definitely.
Like I feel like that's never really been translated well onto a movie outside of
hard.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, it's hard, and then you start getting like like the old Batman movies that came out in the '90s. Like once they started getting to Batman Forever, Gotham just started getting corny. You know what I mean? Batman and Robin, like it didn't like it had like this Batman animated series feel to it, and that's obviously like those movies were awful. But I mean that's one thing I'm gonna say about Batman Begins. I mean I think Dark Knight is the best movie. I think Dark Knight's one of the best movies of all time. But as a Batman film, I think Batman Begins is probably the best of the three. Now, what I do want to say, I'm not gonna sit here and go into crazy detail about each film, but I want to end it on The Dark Knight Rises. I think that's probably Christopher Nolan's weakest movie.
I would agree with that.
But that doesn't mean it's bad in any way. I think it's good. Like, I think I re-rated it. So when I went on Letterboxd, I saw that I had gave it a 4 out of 5.
The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and when I rated it again after seeing it, just now, I gave it a 3.5. So it went down in my books, but a 3.5
I don't know, bro.
out of 5 is
I don't
still
know,
pretty
bro.
good.
You give some weird ass ratings sometimes. I can't even lie.
Like what?
Did you give like Joker a 5 out of 5?
I did give Joker a 5 out of 5 when I walked out, but once I kind of like sat down and let it like digest, I think I gave it a 4.
Still too high.
I enjoyed the movie. I liked it.
Well, I gave The Dark Knight Rises a 3.5 as well. I definitely agree.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's just the weakest of Nolan.
I definitely agree with that. I think it's a definite like that. There are a lot of like questionable decisions in this movie that I'm just kind of like.
Now, what I want to get your opinion on. So the ending of The Dark Knight Rises,
Stupid.
See, that's where I disagree. Like,
You're talking about when you're talking about when he sees Bruce, right?
Yeah, I love that.
Stupid.
I love that. So you think that Batman should have died?
I don't think that Batman should have died. I just think it should have been left open-ended or ambiguous. But then, like, okay,
I don't think it's gonna be left open-ended if they don't have that scene.
Like this is what you see.
Unless okay, but you hear Lucius Fox ask about who overrided the autopilot or whatever, and they're like, oh, it's Bruce Wayne. If they maybe ended it on that, then okay, it's way more open-ended, because then you're like, wait, hold on, if Bruce Wayne was able to fix the autopilot or whatever it was,
no, but don't you
he could have
see?
survived.
But don't you see Michael Caine, and he's like sitting at the diner, and he smiles. You don't see what he's smiling at. The camera cuts, or the scene cuts to a different scene completely.
Well, the music starts to pick up, like
and then it cuts to something else.
Start to wail.
Like it cuts to something else, and then
yeah, I think it cuts it. Like I think.
Okay, that's how it should have ended. That they should not have gone back to see what Michael Caine is smiling at. That's what I mean.
Okay.
Like we know it's Bruce already because they like foreshadowed it earlier in the movie. Like we know it's Bruce.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of like
okay. I can see that because they do show a similar scene in the beginning of the movie with Michael Caine or Alfred in Paris or wherever, and it's very similarly shot. So as soon as you see it again at the end of the film, like you pretty much already know, like I know what they're about to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I can see where you're coming from. I don't know. I really like the way it ended. Like, and I don't know. I guess I'm a sucker. Like seeing him end up with Selena Kyle, I like that. I thought that was a cool way to end the Bruce Wayne's story.
I guess
I want Bruce Wayne to end like I know Bruce Wayne lives a miserable ass life, so I'm okay with him having a happy ending.
I guess, yeah. I always forget that Aidan Gillen is in this movie. Aidan Gillen and Ben Mendelsohn are in this movie.
Yeah, it's dude. The Dark Knight Rises arguably has the best cast out of the three. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Anne Hathaway. I mean, obviously Gary Oldman, Christian Bale, Michael
Yeah.
Caine.
You might, yeah. Marion
You got Tom Hardy.
Cotillard. Yeah, that's true.
Cillian Murphy's in it for 5 seconds.
Oh
Shout
yeah,
out to Blake.
Cillian Murphy. It's definitely the weakest. I wouldn't say it's bad.
It's
but,
not.
like,
It's a good movie. Like you'll walk. You could go into this movie and have a ton of fun with it.
Yeah. At least until like Marion Cotillard's like death scene, and it's just kind of like, oh, okay, this is like really poorly acted. But I don't blame her, cause like apparently that scene wasn't supposed to be in the movie. Like
Really?
yeah. Like Nolan told her like, oh, don't worry. Like she didn't like that scene because she thought it was poorly acted, and Nolan told her
the way she died was like. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
Like,
that's
she
what I'm
kinda
talking
just,
about.
like-
That's what I'm talking about.
she-
Yeah, she just kind of like she's just kind of talking, and she just goes, like she just sort of like falls asleep. And
Yeah,
so
I
then
was
like, so then Nolan told her like, don't worry, that's not gonna be in the movie. She was like, okay. And then the movie came out, and she watched it, and she's like, wait, like what the fuck? Like you told me this wasn't gonna be in the movie.
Really, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Like that's super eye rolly. I think really the whole idea behind her character is kind of eye rolly too. Like I don't like how she's Talia al Ghul.
I feel like I like that how she's Talia al Ghul, but I feel like they took a little too long to like develop that twist. Like I feel like halfway through the movie we should already know that.
Yeah,
But I see what Christopher Nolan's trying to do, trying to throw the entire audience off at the end of the movie, but I don't know. I feel like that could have been done differently. But like I said, it's still a good movie. Like
yeah,
everybody, like I'm looking through my rating. Like I follow a couple people on Letterboxd, and the average rating I would say is like a 3.5, 4. Like a lot of people still love this movie. It's good. It's a really good movie. I mean, this trilogy itself is one of the best trilogies of all time. Batman Begins and Dark Knight are for sure 2 classic films.
yeah. I would definitely
So-
say that the trilogy is definitely upholded by the legacy of the Dark Knight, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
Like if that movie is as good as if that movie is like on the same level like as The Dark Knight Rises, I don't think we'd look back at the trilogy the same way.
No, we don't. Not
Like
at all.
we'll look at it and be like,
We'll look back at
good.
like the old Batman movies, or the first 2 like Michael Keaton movies.
Yeah, we'll probably look at it and be like, those are good.
Yeah, those are
But
good
like
movies.
when you talk about the Dark Knight movies, it's like, no, like these are great movies, and I think in my opinion, a lot of it has to do with the first one like actually being like probably the best Batman movie, and 2 being like one of the best movies like ever made.
Yeah, I agree. Now, what I want to ask you to conclude our little Dark Knight segment is, who do you think is the best Bruce Wayne Batman that we've seen in film?
Kevin Conroy.
Okay, not counting him.
Okay. Ben Affleck.
I'll let you separate the 2.
Ben
Bruce Wayne
Affleck.
and Batman.
Ben Affleck.
Well, I'm saying like if you want to say like Ben Affleck's the best Batman.
Ben
or
Affleck, the
Christian
best
Bale's
Batman. Christian Bale is the best Bruce Wayne.
Okay.
I hate Christian Bale's Batman.
I think Christian Bale as Batman sucks.
I think Christian Bale is probably the worst Batman. Like,
I don't think he's the worst.
okay, probably like George Clooney, like the bat nipples, and the bat credit
I
card.
think he's better than Val Kilmer.
I forgot Val Kilmer was Batman. Yeah, okay, I'd say third worst.
But that's still good company. Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck are.
Michael Keaton, Ben Affleck, Adam
great,
West.
There's some great Batmans.
Yeah. I think if Ben Affleck was actually given something good to work with, I think he'd be the best. I think at the end of the day, I think Robert Pattinson will go down as the best. That's my hot take. I think by the time like Robert Pattinson's Batman done is over, I think he will go down as the best Batman outside of Kevin Conroy, because I don't think Kevin Conroy is touchable. Like in my opinion, I think Kevin Conroy is like up here.
He's the GOAT. Yeah, he's the GOAT.
I think Kevin Conroy is like up here, and then everyone else is just below him. I don't think he'll ever be surpassed.
For those of you listening that don't know who Kevin Conroy is, because some of you might be confused, he's the one that voices Batman in most iterations in cartoon and video games. Like the Batman animated series, like when Steven and I were kids, that was all Kevin Conroy. The Justice League cartoon, all Kevin Conroy.
The Arkham
video
games.
games, all him. This guy, like he's Batman.
Like,
When
yeah.
I hear his voice, that's like boom, Batman. You know what I mean? Like I'll hear him in an interview, and I'm like, I don't see Kevin Conroy. I see Bruce Wayne. You know?
Yeah. To me,
So-
he's like he's Batman. You know.
Yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, so I'm gonna agree with the Ben. I've always said it. Ben Affleck, I think, is like when I saw Batman versus Superman for the first time, that whole fight scene. That Zack Snyder, I think, is a whatever director, but that entire fight scene was beautiful. I don't know if you agree that the warehouse fight scene that
Yeah.
Batman has.
Mhm.
I thought it was shot perfectly. It literally reminds you of the Arkham video games, the way he's beating all these thugs up.
Definitely.
So that's why, like, that scene, it's by itself. The way Ben Affleck just looks in the bat suit, he's gonna get my vote. But I love Bruce Wayne or Christian Bale as Bruce Wayne. I think he does a great job as Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, definitely.
If Ben Affleck got his own movie, he would be able to for sure, get more depth to this character. But since we only saw him in 2 movies and one of them being like a half movie, I guess you could say. Maybe our minds will change when Justice League Snyder Cut comes out. Hopefully.
Probably not. So, all right. So while we're on the subject of trilogies, I guess I'll go ahead and talk about the trilogy that I watched like last week, and that was J.J. Abrams' Star Trek trilogy. Now I'm gonna go ahead and say flat out that I'm not a Trekkie. I am not nostalgic towards Star Trek. Before I watched like these movies, like I couldn't give a shit about Star Trek. I don't mean it like that harshly, but like
Was that the first time you ever saw them?
yeah, this is the first and only Star Trek.
Oh, so you
media-
never saw these movies when they first came out?
Only the first one. And I watched
Okay.
it literally when it came out, so it's been 11 years.
Okay.
So like to me, I have like no. Like I sort of understand what Star Trek is, and like what it represents. Like it's definitely not Star Wars. I understand that much. I know Leonard Nimoy, William Shatner, like
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, George Takei. I sort of get all of that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm basically saying that to show that I have no prior attachment to Star Trek. And I say that because I know a lot of hardcore Trekkies and a lot of fans of like the older material, like the original movies, the Shatner and Nimoy shows, don't like these movies very much outside of maybe the first one.
Really?
At least that's where I was taking from like the internet and stuff. So Star Trek 1 came out in 2009, directed by J.J. Abrams, starring Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, Zachary Quinto as Spock. Surprised Eric Bana. I was not expecting Eric Bana. I had watched it the first time, but I forgot that Eric Bana was in it. Zoe Saldana, I completely forgot she was in it. I completely forgot Carl Urban was in this.
Is Eric Bana the guy that was the first Hulk?
Yes.
Or the first
Yes.
film Hulk? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Wow.
Like the really bad one from like 2003.
Yeah, I hated the way that movie was shot. But, okay, continue.
Winona Ryder's in this movie for like 2 seconds. I forgot Simon Pegg was in it. I completely forgot that Chris Hemsworth was in this movie.
I was about to say that. I was like, isn't Chris Hemsworth in that?
Yeah, he's in the very beginning.
That was
he's Chris
Dude,
Pine's
that was
dad.
like when Chris Hemsworth was like coming around. Like that was like one
This was
of his
before
first
Thor.
movie roles.
This was before Thor.
Wow.
This was pre-Thor Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
So then, like, my brother was telling me that, like, he was, when he watched Star Trek, because he watched it, like, maybe last year, and like, he, like, looked up the movie afterwards, and he found, like threads from, like, when Chris Hemsworth was, like, announced to play, Thor, that people were like, oh, why would you pick Thor? Why would you pick him? He had, like, one scene in Star Trek that's, like, all he has to his name, and then, like, look where he's at now.
Hey, I love the guy, man.
Yeah, I love Chris Hemsworth.
Marry him.
So he has a wife and kid or kids.
Oh, that's true. His wife's the girl from Fast and Furious movies, right?
What?
Isn't his wife the girl from the Fast and Furious movies?
Michelle Rodriguez?
No, the Hispanic one that like, I'll tell you right now.
Michelle Rodriguez? What the fuck are you talking about?
No. I think she plays a Hispanic in the movie. I'm pretty sure she's from Spain in real life. Yeah, she plays Elena, maybe. Like she's like with The Rock. Remember, like in the what's the first Fast movie she did? Fast 5.
Actually, I haven't seen Fast 5.
Really?
Yeah, I've only seen 6, 7, 8. No, I've only seen 7, 8, and Hobbs and Shaw.
Okay. Wow, she's 7 years older than him.
Okay, back to my point.
Anyways,
That's my point. I was kind of like pleasantly surprised by the movie. It definitely,
movie.
yeah, it's definitely a good movie. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, in my opinion. I'm not really sure why I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
J.J. Abrams.
Yeah, I was about to say. I looked at my screen really quick and I saw directed by J.J. Abrams, and like in my mind, literally right as you were saying that, I was like, oh wait, J.J. Abrams.
I think the only other good movie that I was like really satisfied. I mean, I liked Force Awakens, but Mission Impossible 3, that's a good movie.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That's the only one he did, right?
Yeah, because I think Brad Bird did 4, and 5 and 6 were directed by the same person, I believe.
That's funny that Brad Bird did 4.
That's arguably, and that might be the best one.
Ghost Protocol, right?
Yeah, that might be the best one.
I'm hearing the new one's really good. And I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Fallout?
No.
Damn, you gotta watch Fallout. You can make the case. You can make the case that 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all like could each be the best one.
I think honestly, like Brianna and I have been talking about trying to find like a new like series of movies to watch. I think I think tonight we're gonna start off with Mission Impossible 1.
Yeah,
we'll just go from there.
Yeah,
because I haven't seen a lot of these movies since I was like a kid. So
the second one's definitely the worst one, but like there are some things that like it does have its charm, but like it's weird. Okay, but we're not talking about Mission Impossible. Let's talk about Star Trek.
Well, it's J.J. Abrams.
True. So I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. I was definitely pleasantly surprised. I think Chris Pine, throughout the course of the series or this trilogy, I think Chris Pine kills it as Kirk. I think Chris Pine is Captain Kirk. I think he morphs into that character, like sort of how you see Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark and Chris Evans as Captain America. That's how I feel about Chris Pine and Captain Kirk. Now I can't really compare him to Shatner or anyone else. But to me, he is Kirk. To me, Zachary Quinto is Spock, although, Leonard Nimoy obviously is in this movie. He's fantastic as well, the limited presence that he has. So I liked the first Star Trek. I thought it was fun. I thought it was interesting. Now I know a lot of people like old Trekkie fans don't really like it because like J.J. Abrams kind of like turned it into Star Wars. It's like a lot of action and fighting, and Star Trek like really isn't about that. It's more about like humanity and technology and using smarts to get out of situations rather than fucking ramming spaceships into each other like they do like 6 times throughout the course of these 3 movies. So I understand all that. But from a perspective of someone who isn't really big on Star Trek, I think this is perfectly fine. I think it's enjoyable. I think the performances are all really solid. It's definitely enjoyable. They made me really miss Anton Yelchin, though.
Yeah.
Like, they made me really miss Anton Yelchin, because you could definitely see in this movie that he had so much potential. And then, obviously, you had Green Room, which came out a couple years ago. And the potential is all there. It's a tragedy what happened.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I never saw, what was the third one? Beyond?
Yeah.
Was he in the third one? Anton
Yelchin?
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He passed away a month before the movie came out.
Damn, that sucks.
They have I'm pretty sure they have like a For Anton thing in the credits.
Like screen.
Yeah, like when the credits roll. So Star Trek 1, I definitely enjoyed it. I think I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5.
That's good.
So then we move on.
Real quick, I want to add. So I have a family member of mine that's super Trekkie. Die hard, watches watched all the shows and movies that they've released over the years, whatever. I remember him back when I first saw the Star Trek 1, which was over 10 years ago. I asked him, I was like, "What do you think of Chris Pine?" Because I wasn't too familiar with Chris Pine at the time. I feel like Chris Pine was still becoming a name at that point. What is it? 2009, 2008?
2009.
Yeah, so like he's just now coming around at that time.
Mhm.
So I remember asking him after the movie came out, I'm like, "What did you think? Like, did he play a good Kirk?" And he was like, "Dude, like I thought he played Kirk perfectly. Like, he played it better than people have Solo, for example. Like, you have these big expectations for these guys. Like, it's hard to fill these shoes that these previous actors like William Shatner left or like Harrison Ford leaves for Han Solo." And I remember him telling me, he's like, "Dude, Chris Pine killed it. Like, overcame every kind of doubt that I had. Anything, like, this dude played Kirk how I imagine a young Kirk to be." So I was actually super happy to hear that coming from him. Now, I don't know how a lot of other Star Trek fans feel. I don't go on Star Trek Reddit pages or anything like that to see how they feel about Chris Pine. But hearing that from him, was like awesome to hear. Like, because I think Chris Pine's a hell of an actor, man. That he's good.
Do you want to hear my I don't know if it's a hot take, but do you want to hear my hot take?
You hated it.
No. I think out of all the Chris actors, I think Chris Pine is the best one.
Oh, I totally agree.
I think
100%.
And by Chris actors, I mean Pine, Chris Pine, Chris Pratt, Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth.
Yes, he's by far the best.
Yeah, I think out of them four, I think Pine is probably the best one.
Oh,
no, not probably, not probably, like definitely the best one. I think.
Yeah, the other three are hard to rank, on top of each other, but Pine is by far the best.
I would probably put Evans at number 2.
Me too.
And then Pratt and Hemsworth tied. I think Hemsworth.
I think Pratt might take the leap. I think Pratt, given a good script, can actually act his ass off.
I would say I would put Pratt above Hemsworth only because of Parks and Rec. And that transition from Parks and Rec into Guardians and all that stuff, it definitely shows that he could do different styles of comedy. I just wish and Hemsworth, it's hard to rank Hemsworth because he doesn't really have a lot outside of Marvel and Extraction.
He plays a lot of the same roles.
Yeah, I think once he breaks away from that mold, I think we'll start to see him really as an actor.
And he does a great job playing those same roles. I think he does great as Thor. Extraction, I thought he was good. He was in that one movie where he played a U.S. soldier. I forget the name of it, but I thought he actually did pretty well in that movie. They're all four of them are good.
They're all good actors. They're all good. No disrespect to any of the Chris's.
Yeah, no disrespect.
We're big fans of all the Chris's. I just think Pine is. I don't know. Maybe he just picks his roles, but you definitely see Evans now that he's done with Captain America. Start of kind of venturing into these different roles, like Knives Out.
Yes.
You have that Apple TV show. I forget its name now.
I hear. Yeah, but I hear he does a great job.
Yeah.
I think Chris Evans back in the early mid 2000s was your typical pretty boy actor. You know what I mean? This guy got casted in Fantastic Four and just was told to play a douchebag, and he did a good job.
He does a great job playing douchebags.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job, and then he got cast as Captain America, which is an extremely serious role. And from then on, he started picking and choosing his roles.
He definitely
started to do more indie movies.
He definitely has the acting chops, and it's going to be interesting to see where his career goes.
Well, I do know that he wanted to start directing more, so I'm actually interested in seeing how that goes for him.
Yeah, we'll see. So,
but yeah, Pine is the best.
So now, Star Trek Into Darkness. I'm just gonna go quickly here. Star Trek Into Darkness. I think this is the one that Trekkie fans dislike the most, and I think that's. Have you seen this one?
Is that the one with Benedict?
Yes.
Yeah, so I did see that one.
Okay.
I remember liking it. I don't.
So, spoiler alert for a 7-year-old movie. Spoiler alert for Star Trek Into Darkness. If you don't want to hear it, fast forward, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds. But a lot of Trekkie fans don't like that Benedict Cumberbatch's character was revealed to be Khan, because that's like a twist like halfway through the movie. General consensus is that Khan really only works like if he's already pre-established in that universe. So to have like a character sort of come out like as Khan is just kind of like could have just made him another character. Which I could like again like I'm not really.
Are you trying to say like if you're a new fan to the series, like it's not gonna be as surprising to you maybe?
Like well that's one thing because he reveals himself. He's like I am Khan, and then but like if you're like me, who has no idea who the fuck Khan is, you're just like, okay, like why do I care? Like I don't know who you are. You weren't established in the last movie. This is the first time your name has ever been mentioned. So then Trekkie fans who actually know who that is, it doesn't work for them either. So then they're like, why does it have to be Khan? Like why couldn't you just make it like its own character? Because it doesn't even really make sense for him to be Khan. So that twist doesn't really work either way, which I think is the biggest flaw in the movie. Now, if Benedict Cumberbatch is the villain, Khan, in this movie, if he was like his own separate character, like his own person, I think that's perfectly fine. I think it would actually elevate the movie because like that big twist moment doesn't land. But I thought the movie, all in all, I thought it was entertaining. Definitely much darker than I thought it would be. I would say
is this one still filmed by JJ?
Yes, this is still a J.J. Abrams movie. This was right before Force Awakens came out.
Okay.
This was like his Force Awakens audition, I guess. So then, I still enjoyed it. However, even though the twist didn't really land, I definitely still enjoyed it. I would say it's as good as the first one. Maybe like just a notch lower. I gave both of them 3.5s out of 5s though. So now you move into Star Trek Beyond, which came out 4 years ago, directed by Justin Lin, who did the Fast and Furious franchise.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think he did like the last. I think he did Fast 6 and 7. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did multiple Fast movies. Fast 5, Fast 6. I think he did Tokyo Drift as well.
Maybe.
I don't know if he did any more, but yeah.
So Star Trek Beyond is good. I was happy to see Carl Urban and Anton Yelchin have slightly bigger roles in this. I think Carl Urban, besides Kirk, is probably my favorite character in this trilogy of movies. But like the villain is kind of ass, and it's Idris Elba, but like you kind of like can't really understand what he's saying like at first. And then, because like he's like this like alien monster thing, but you can't really understand what he's saying.
He's like a Tom Hardy in most movies.
Yeah, but like worse.
I have to like put subtitles on every time Tom Hardy comes up in a movie.
Yeah, and then like you I don't know. I just didn't really buy into the villain. It was just kind of like
lackluster.
Yeah, it was like whatever. Like
I never saw Beyond. I and what's funny too is like I actually enjoyed the first two a lot, and I remember when Beyond was being like marketed, commercials were coming out and all that stuff. I remember kind of just being like, meh. I don't really care to see it. I'll see it one day.
I would say that like the three movies are all sort of like on like a similar like in terms of like how good they are or like enjoyable. I'd say like they're all like pretty much on the same. I would say like if like Star Trek 1 and Into Darkness are like up here, I would put Beyond like just a little bit underneath them. Just because like I thought the villain in like the first half of the movie was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
But this movie does have my favorite scene in the entire trilogy, though. I will say that. So all in all, I enjoyed the Star Trek movies. I wish there was a fourth one. So I hope they sort of like they fix up any pay disputes and any disputes that were going on. They really flesh out the script. Cause like I know Chris Hemsworth was rumored to be in the fourth one. I don't know how the hell that's gonna work.
Time travel.
But really, I think the crew and like the chemistry between the crew really works.
I agree with that.
Like it really, like I think that's like the main thing about these movies is that
you could tell that like the actors themselves like they enjoy each other's company.
100%, especially Pine and Spock, and Carl Urban. Like the crew just really gels. They gel together well. It's just gonna be sad not having Yelchin in the fourth one.
Yeah, definitely. What I want to know, which I don't know, maybe if you did your research or not, is everything that came out before and after Beyond canon to this main storyline of movies or stories?
So I actually looked this up. So this Star Trek trilogy is set in an alternate dimension in the Star Trek universe, like an alternate timeline. Like Leonard Nimoy's Spock sort of explains it in the first movie when he gets sucked into this world.
I remember that. I remember seeing him.
Like he sort of says like, you know, this is like an alternate dimension. Like you guys all exist in another dimension.
Okay.
So.
Because like I remember seeing Patrick Stewart's movie being I think he's getting or he has his own Star Trek show.
Yeah, he has a
on
show.
CBS.
Yeah, he has a show.
So I was just wondering if that plays into the movies at all, but okay, that makes sense.
No,
his
there's
show
no
probably
mention.
plays more into the old stuff.
Probably, like, there's no mention of Patrick Stewart's show or character in these movies, like as far as I know.
Yeah.
So, those are my Star Trek movies.
Wait, I'm sorry, my bad. One last question.
Yeah, that is your bad.
Who does Patrick Stewart play in Star Trek? Like
Captain
is
Picard?
His character? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. It is Picard. So is he at all shown in these movies?
No.
Okay, so I was wondering if maybe they were gonna like cast somebody young to play him. I was wondering if they had already did that, but okay.
As far as I know, he's not shown in these movies.
Okay. All right.
All right. So that's my Star Trek. Do you have anything else you want to talk about, or do you want me to talk about something else real quick?
No, go ahead.
All right, so this one's going to be really quick because this movie was absolute dog shit. And that's The Hangover Part 2. Wait, why pun intended?
Well, you're about to talk about a dog movie.
A dog movie?
Wait, what movie are you trying to talk about?
Hangover Part 2?
Wait, you're about to talk about Hangover 2?
Yeah? The fuck
I thought you were talking about Scoob.
No, I'll talk about Scoob later.
Okay, so you want to talk about Hangover 2? That's the most random movie to review, but okay.
I mean, we're just talking about the things we watched.
Okay,
Things we watched recently. And I watched Hangover Part 2 recently because my brother was watching it, and I was like, fuck it, whatever, I'll watch it. And I have to say that this is probably the laziest movie ever made. Like, this is literally The Hangover Part 1, just reskinned.
Yeah.
It's like if someone just took, like they were like in a board meeting, right? And they're like, you know, we need movie ideas. Like, what's like our most popular movie in the past, like, 3 years? And someone was like, oh, The Hangover. Let's make a sequel. And they're like, okay, does anyone have any ideas? And then they were like, what if we just made The Hangover again? Which is literally what they did. Like, literally the same story beats. It's literally almost the same exact plot, beat by beat, to the point where you're watching this and it's like it's kind of like egregious. And so, like, as you could see on my screen, I gave it like a 1.5. And the only reason it's a 1.5 is because I did laugh like a couple of times. There are a few like genuine laughs, but all in all, like the movie's terrible. It's like, if you're gonna watch this movie, just watch The Hangover Part 1. It's more creative.
Hangover Part 1 is one of the best comedies in my opinion. Like,
ever. Hangover Part 1 is a great movie, great comedy. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you're watching, like bro, Alan literally even drugs them a second time. Like, have you seen this movie?
Yeah, I've seen all 3 of them. I remember I remember having like the same, you know.
You for sure
like,
laughed your ass off, for sure, bro. You for sure went to school.
I can laugh at a dumb movie.
You for sure went to school the next day. You're like, bro, The Hangover Part 2 is the best movie, bro. For sure, 100%. 100%. I can see you saying that.
No, I remember saying that it wasn't as good as the first one, and people giving me shit for that.
Like,
and I'm
bro, the monkey in the movie's so funny, bro.
This guy hates me. I'm quitting, bro.
All right, make sure to clock out.
Was all three Hangovers directed by Todd Phillips?
I haven't seen the third one, so I don't know, but probably.
You hate him.
Let's check right now.
Yeah,
Yes.
all three of them.
Yes. He also did War Dogs.
And Due Date. And Starsky and Hutch. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Okay, wait, but I kind of like Due Date.
And Road Trip too. Fuck, Road Trip's a classic.
I kind of like Due Date. I'm not gonna lie.
Due Date's a good movie.
Like, I will laugh at Due Date.
Okay, hold on. This guy gave it to Due Date a 2 out of 5, but he's giving me shit about Hangover too.
Because Due
And he
Date is,
said that he liked it.
but Due Date is actually original. Like, it's not good.
What about Starsky and Hutch though?
I haven't seen Starsky and Hutch.
Wow, missing out.
I know. So that's my quick review of The Hangover Part 2.
Okay.
Terrible movie. Bradley Cooper, Ed Helms, Zach Galifianakis, Paul Giamatti, everyone involved. I know you can do better. Come on.
Okay, so one real quick thing that I want to get into.
About Hangover?
No, not about The Hangover. Like a film that I watched like kind of recently. I'm not gonna get into because I actually want you to watch it. Is The King of Staten Island?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Did you ever watch it or no?
No, but it's on my watch list.
So I definitely recommend anyone listen to this. Obviously, Steven, I recommend you watching it. It's not by any means it's not the best movie ever. Like the movie has flaws to it, but it has a lot of charm. And
Oh, look who's in it.
What's up?
Look who's in it.
Who? Oh, Bill Burr.
Bill
yeah.
Burr.
Yeah, the GOAT.
Aaron Burr's in it.
We love Bill Burr in this podcast.
We love Bill Burr. We wish he was in Hamilton.
But yeah, I don't want to get into it at all, but I definitely think you should watch this. I was never a Pete Davidson fan before. Like I thought he was
He's okay.
not that funny.
He's okay.
Yeah, and I think in this movie he's got a lot of good moments where you start, where you laugh a lot. But he shows his acting chops pretty well. At least in the second and third act, you start to really see it. So I definitely recommend it. I mean, I give the movie a 4 out of 5. Like I said, it's not perfect. I was probably reaching with that score a little bit. It probably could have been like a 3.5, but I still think it's really well done, and it's a really charming movie. So I highly recommend that.
All right, I'll look into that. Maybe I'll watch it this weekend. Okay, so that's The King of Staten Island. Let's try to get through this quick because we're already at an hour. Jesus.
I'm going for 3.
Time flies when you're having fun. Let's make this as long as Hamilton.
I'm actually down.
So I'm going to talk about Scoob. Not much to talk about. The movie sucks, unfortunately. I think the movie really...
It ain't no Dora.
It's definitely not Dora. Definitely not. But no movie is. Besides maybe Citizen Kane.
Dude, if
But
you go
even
on my
then-
letterbox, if you go on my letterbox and you go by my highest rated movies, it's all these like Godfather, Parasite, and then you just see Dora.
Wait, but Dora's just as good as those.
I know. I wanted to include it in all these great films.
So, Scoob came out like 2 months ago, released on HBO Max. I think it came out on VOD first and then HBO Max.
That was supposed to come out in theaters, correct?
Yeah. Obviously COVID, and they were like, fuck it, just release it. The cast is pretty stacked. Yeah, Will Forte, Amanda Seyfried, Mark Wahlberg, Jason Isaacs, Gina Rodriguez, Zac Efron, Tracy Morgan,
Who the
Ken
hell does
Jeong.
Mark Wahlberg voice?
All right. So, really, I think the biggest problem with this movie is for a movie called Scoob, about Scooby-Doo and the gang, the movie really fails to capture the spirit of Scooby-Doo to the point where it doesn't even feel like a Scooby-Doo movie. It feels like a Blue Falcon movie, which, if you don't know, Blue Falcon is another character owned by Hanna-Barbera, which is the company that owns Scooby-Doo, the Flintstones, the Jetsons.
Yeah, it's like Marvel owning Spider-Man.
Yeah, pretty much. Also, actually, now that I mentioned Citizen Kane, do you know Orson Welles created Scooby-Doo characters?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
The characters were created by Orson Welles. So, really, the biggest problem with this movie is that it doesn't feel like a Scooby-Doo movie. It really doesn't capture the spirit of the gang. Like, for example, like most of the time in Scooby-Doo episodes and in movies, the gang always gets split up amongst themselves, right?
Yeah.
But the charm about it is the way that each member of the gang interacts with one another. That's like, to me, that's the charm of Scooby-Doo. Like, a lot of people like Scooby and Shaggy and their interactions, but really, I think what Scooby-Doo relies on is how Velma, Fred, Shaggy, Scooby and Daphne all interact with one another. And now, I'm not the biggest Scooby-Doo fan in the world, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you, like, you know, like, has to follow these beats and everything religiously.
You know all the lore and
Yeah,
shit. That
yeah,
comes
like,
behind it.
yeah, like, I don't know any of that shit. I'm not like a gatekeeper for Scooby-Doo. But even I know how the gang is supposed to react, and even I know that a movie called Scoob, about Scooby-Doo and characters, should have Fred, Velma, and Daphne in it for more than like 15 minutes.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so Blue Falcon, played by Mark Wahlberg, giving his best Ryan Reynolds impression. Sort of like, okay, all right. So let me walk you through the plot real quick. So whatever, the movie starts with Shaggy and Scooby meeting, and then them meeting the rest of the gang. Fast forward like 10 years, they're solving mysteries together. Simon Cowell, for some reason, wants to invest in the gang and make them into a company, right? So they don't have to keep driving around in the van. Simon Cowell, who hasn't been relevant in like at least like 8 years. No disrespect to Simon Cowell, but come on.
He would probably agree.
Yeah, like why the fuck Simon Cowell? Like, it's just random, you know? So whatever, the gang, like, he basically tells them, like, I can't invest money into this group with Shaggy and Scooby. Like, they're pretty much a liability. I guess Shaggy and Scooby get pissed. They leave. They get abducted by Blue Falcon and his dog, and I guess, like, a sidekick? To basically help fight a supervillain. And then this is where the movie turns into, like, a superhero movie. Like, literally, it turns into, like, a superhero movie. And it's like, okay, but I watched Scooby-Doo, you know, to see them, like, I guess, like, not fight monsters, but, you know, like, fight monsters, but, like, not literally, you know? Like, they kind of think their way out of situations. They look at things, like, you know, logically, and, you know, it's very, very rarely are things legitimately supernatural in Scooby-Doo. At least from what I've seen.
Yeah.
So then this movie sort of just misses the mark on all that. Like, it goes, like, they resurrect things from, like, the underworld. Like, it's corny. Like, it's just, like, the humor is, like, really dated. And this is why I mentioned Simon Cowell. Because, like, I don't have a problem with Simon Cowell. Like, I don't want Simon Cowell to listen to this.
I don't know, bro. I feel like you hate him.
I don't want Simon Cowell to listen to this and be like, what the fuck? This guy hates me.
Let's bring him on the podcast.
Wait, he just emailed me.
we told him that we were gonna bash him.
Yeah, he can't make it. He said he can't make it. He said he saw what I rated Scoob. So, but like the thing is, like, okay, you're gonna bring in Simon Cowell to make a guest appearance. The target audience who's probably watching this movie most likely doesn't know who Simon Cowell is. You know? Like, American Idol...
It's all, like, 5, 6, 7-year-olds. Like...
Yeah, like really...
American Idol came out when we were 5, 6, 7-year-olds.
Yeah, and then, like the movie... Like, the humor in the movie just feels, like, really dated. It feels like humor you'd see in movies, like, 10, 15 years ago, and it's just, like... You know, it's just kind of cringe. You know?
I feel like Scooby-Doo needs, like, if they want to continue making films or even TV shows or, you know, whatever about this, you know, these gang of characters, I feel like you gotta do something different.
They definitely need to regroup after this movie and think about
change
where they're
up.
gonna take this franchise, or this, like, if they want to make this franchise into the next like into the future, because
Well,
spoiler alert. Can I say something real quick? Like, do you mind like a Scoob spoiler?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, they set up like a shared universe between all the Hanna-Barbera characters.
Really?
Which I guess if you knew who Blue Falcon was going into this, I guess you already knew that. But yeah, they could sort of like set up like a shared universe. Which I don't know like how the Flintstones would tie
Do they
in.
tease the other shows or
They tease obviously Blue Falcon, and they tease one other one. I can't remember who it was right now. That's how forgettable this show
not the
was.
Jetsons or
Not the Jetsons and not the Flintstones.
okay?
But they sort of do go back to like an island, like on Earth, like current Earth, that's in prehistoric times. So I don't know if maybe they're setting up that like this is possible on Earth, so the Flintstones can live simultaneously with Scooby-Doo and the gang. Which I don't even know how like a crossover event would work.
They'll write some bullshit.
I'm sure they will.
Well, one thing I want to say is before we, finish off our Scooby-Doo review. There was a series of comic books. I remember reading the first couple of issues.
You read?
And no, I'm actually learning.
I feel like I've made that joke on this podcast at least like 4 times.
No, more than that. Definitely more than that. This is probably like what, our like 15th or 20th episode together? At least 10 times.
Has it been that many? We're probably just about to hit 20. We're
We
probably
used to review a lot. This is new to us now. We're getting back into our groove again.
facts. You've been holding me back.
So there was these series of comic books that DC Comics, which has a partnership or whatever. I don't know if like they're all owned by the same company with Hanna-Barbera, but they came out with a series of comic books that Jim Lee actually. I don't know.
They are owned by the same company. They're all owned by Warner Bros.
Okay.
Because in this movie, Daphne wears a Wonder Woman costume, and then like Shaggy says,
Whoa.
"Hey, nice Wonder Woman costume," and it's like, okay, licensing? Wait,
Well,
Warner
no,
Bros.
but the old bro. Remember back in the day, like the Adam West cartoons, like of Batman used to like team up with Scooby Doo.
Yeah, because I think at least the distribution rights for the movies and stuff has always been Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why all the DC movies are on HBO Max and Scoob is on HBO Max.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
somehow connected.
Everything
Anyways.
is connected, bro. You just got to
Yeah.
open your third eye.
Anyways, so I'm not gonna really get like crazy into detail about it, but they made a comic book called Scooby Apocalypse. I think it takes place like when, dude, it's good. It takes place like the entire gang is like older, like you know what I mean. Like I think they're teenagers in the cartoons and all that stuff.
It's like a
I think
rated
they're, like-
R, like Scooby and Shaggy.
It's not rated
are, like,
R, but like
eating-
it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark. Like it's like I think Scooby's like missing like he has like a robotic eye or something like that. Like, bro, but it's good stuff. It's a post-apocalyptic world that Scooby and the gang are like trying to save, and it's some good storytelling. But I'm like, why? Let's do some shit like this.
It was like Scooby was like tortured by like the Joker. Shaggy had to kill the Joker. Like it's like a panel of just him shooting Joker.
Dude, Google Scooby Apocalypse right now. Google Scooby Apocalypse and just like look at the different photos. Like, tell me that shit does not look dope. Like, you're gonna tell me you wouldn't be interested in watching a movie about this?
What the fuck?
Bro, it's good stuff. I'm telling you, it's good stuff. Jim Lee did the art for like the first 10 issues, I think, which he doesn't do art for, bullshit. It's good stuff, man. But that's what I'm trying to get at though is like let's tell some different stories, bro. Like
That's fuck it,
we've-
man. Just make a Scooby Apocalypse movie.
just make a spooky. I'm down.
Like
I'm
live
so
action.
down.
Like live action. You could bring in the Justice League.
Bro, bring James Gunn back to write it. He wrote the first 2 movies.
Bring in the Justice League.
Have Henry Cavill team up with
Idea here. I'm pitching this. Okay. You do Injustice, but but Superman kills Scooby.
Oh,
And
instead
that's
of
how
killing the Joker.
Yeah, instead of killing the Joker. And then Shaggy
Goes on a fucking revenge.
goes
tour.
like on a rampage and then kills Superman. And then it's revealed that Shaggy was working with Lex Luthor.
Damn.
And then
that's like 5 twists in one.
And then Fred, Daphne, and Velma need to bring Shaggy down. Like, they need to take Shaggy down.
I would see this.
Directed by
James Gunn?
No, Zack Snyder. This needs to be like badass, gory, dark, like no jokes. Like Zack Snyder.
Just suck the fun out of everything.
Just yeah, like no fun, like no laughs.
I want to walk out of this movie
Like
depressed.
like you could barely see what's going on screen. That's how filtered it is, like Instagram filter.
I'm actually down for that. I would pay to watch.
I would
that movie.
honestly, honest to God, I would watch that movie.
You know what I would actually be satisfied with? Because I'm sure that when the Flash movie comes out, he's gonna be like running through different multiverses and bullshit. I would be cool seeing him running through Scooby Apocalypse as fucking. He just runs in. He's like, "What the hell's going on?" He just sees. No, bro, the nightmare scene in Batman versus Superman. Mix that with the Scooby fucking Apocalypse. Bro, tell me that wouldn't be. Just make a movie based off that. That would be Batman saving the day with Scooby-Doo.
Scooby's dead.
Well, no, not in your Injustice timeline. You can kind of connect to the Batman versus Superman. But anyways,
So there are
change
two
it up.
timelines.
Yeah, there'd be 2 timelines.
So one where Scooby's alive and one where Scooby's
Bro, this
dead.
is DC Comics, man. You know how confusing DC gets with their fucking they don't know what they're doing.
That's true.
But anyways, change it up. Let's not, go for these like typical kitty cut stories. Like, not saying that you have to make a more adult oriented like TV show or movie, but change it up. I feel like Scooby-Doo is kind of outdated. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but I definitely think there's possibility, and like with a fresh take and fresh bring in like clean house with whoever is making this movie, with whoever made this movie, with whoever made Scoob,
Or whoever's
Clean
in
house.
charge of this
clean
character
house,
or these set of characters.
like clean house.
Get Kevin Feige.
Bring in someone. Kevin Feige should just run everything. Bring in someone new, someone who could bring something fresh to Scooby-Doo, because whatever this was isn't it, and it really misses the point of what Scooby-Doo is. It is bad. I would not recommend Scoob. I would not recommend it.
All right, that's a good way to finish off that review.
All right. So now can we talk about something good?
Yeah.
All right. So this is what people are here for, I think.
Joker. Review number 2.
We're going to talk about Joker again for like the friggin' 17th time on this podcast. All right, so Palm Springs. It's a Hulu original. I think the first
Excuse me.
Hulu original. Can you stop moving that shit?
It's so squeaky. I need to get some WD-40.
What I was saying. Oh yeah.
It's not the first Hulu original movie, because the one with Jesse Eisenberg was a Hulu original movie. The Art of Self-Defense.
Is that really?
I believe it's a Hulu. Yeah, it's on Hulu. I believe.
Bro, not every
It
movie
was
on Hulu is a Hulu original.
Bro, the Batman Begins on on fucking Hulu. You think
Parasite is a Hulu original.
Let's see. Released. Released. Oh no, never mind. It was released in theaters. I didn't know.
Yeah,
that. Okay.
yeah.
I'm an idiot then. I'm an idiot.
Yeah, you are. So Palm Springs, the first Hulu original movie. I like sort of heard about this movie only through like name.
Well, I feel like we kind of marketed it a little bit. Like, I feel like we definitely helped with the marketing for this movie.
Like us?
Yes, us. Because when we would post the trailers, the posters, I did not see it anywhere else.
That's just because we're trendsetters at Backlot. You know what we do? If you
We
want to
are-
market
we
a
are
movie,
trendsetters.
if
We
you want
are
to market a
trendsetters
movie,
100%.
oh yeah, trust me, I know. If we are, if damn,
There's so much I
taking
wanna
shots.
say, but I'm not going to.
We taking shots on this podcast now? Are we starting beef?
No, one day though. One day.
My joke isn't funny anymore. Okay, so Palm Springs. I had no idea what this movie was about. Besides that, Andy Samberg is in it, who I'm a big fan of. Kristen Milioti, who, besides that god awful show called How I Met Your Mother, I think she's good.
I actually was really impressed by her in this movie. I loved her in this movie.
Me too. I really enjoyed her. Did you know she's in Wolf of Wall Street?
Who the hell does she play in that?
She when I tell you this, your mind is gonna be blown. She is Leonardo DiCaprio's first wife in that movie.
Oh my god.
Yes, I had the same reaction.
Wow.
Yep.
She only probably had 4 minutes of screen time at most.
But it looks exactly like her.
Oh my god, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
oh,
it's
wow.
her. It's her. Movie has J.K. Simmons. We love J.K. Simmons.
The GOAT.
We love J.K. Simmons here at Backlot. You know that. J.K. Simmons, if you're listening to this, we love you. Hit me up anytime. We would love to have you on the show. Camila Mendes is in this, which I am ashamed to say I only know because I've seen one season of Riverdale, which is one season too much. Well, no, you know what? The first season of Riverdale is not that bad.
I never saw any of it. It's a CW show.
I saw the first season of Riverdale and it was okay. It didn't start really getting bad until season 2, and I was like, okay, I'm not watching this bullshit. But Riverdale, at least the first season of Riverdale, is to me it was just drama. This is so stupid, but I can't stop watching this shit. So I guess surprise Camila Mendes.
But don't you watch all the Housewives shows? This guy loves the Housewives of Orange County, Atlanta.
I love Keeping Up with the Kardashians. So surprise Camila Mendes was I guess a welcome surprise. Now,
yeah, well, what was a surprise for me was seeing Tyler Hoechlin, which was her fiance.
Now who the fuck is Tyler Hoechlin?
Well, he's another one from CW. He plays Superman in the
You're right.
Arrowverse, but I originally know him from Teen Wolf that was on MTV 10 years ago. I actually really enjoyed him in that show. It got to a point where I was like, dude, I wouldn't be opposed to this guy playing Batman.
I can't talk shit about you watching Teen Wolf because I watched one season of Riverdale.
Yeah, so we're even now.
Yeah, so we have to. Yeah, we're even. But you watched all of Teen Wolf.
No, I watched the first, I think, 2 or 3 seasons, and then that shit got terrible.
All right, we're even.
But Tyler Hoechlin, I was a super fan of. I think he ended up leaving the show after a few seasons, anyways.
Do you have one of those full body cardboard cutouts?
Oh yeah, it's right over here. I would take it out, but
it's behind your Tua jersey.
Yeah.
This guy had to show off his Tua jersey. I noticed that.
I haven't. I've had it there for months.
Shut up! You for sure took it out of your closet. You for sure took it out of the closet. Well, your room is pitch black when you stream.
Dude, it's literally always lit up like this.
That's bullshit. If I go into your VODs right now,
you will see Tua.
If I go into your VODs right now,
you will see Tua.
You're a fucking liar.
Guy's pulling up my VODs.
I'm literally pulling up your VODs right now. This guy's deleting his VODs so fast.
No, go look. I'm not deleting shit. I'm going to check with you.
It's dark as shit in this VOD.
You know what it is? My
OBS
filter.
Yeah. That's what it is.
No.
That's
100%.
what it is.
It's my OBS filter.
That's
I have
what
a
it
filter
is.
on my OBS. Man, fuck, shut up.
Shut up.
All
right. So
but
can we
Tyler
talk about?
Hoechlin was a surprise.
Can we talk about Palm Springs?
That's what I want to talk about.
That's what we're here for.
You want to talk about Twitch?
You've been talking about Tyler Hoechlin for 30 minutes.
I love him.
Why don't you marry?
Well, this is my way of proposing to him. He's listening.
All right. So
Tyler.
So Palm Springs. I don't want to talk spoilers because I wasn't expecting the twist, which actually happened surprisingly early on in the movie. I think
Bree ruined the twist for me. Literally right before you're about to start it, I was like, I don't know anything about this movie, so I'm actually excited. And then she goes, "Oh,
Don't
it's
say
kind
it.
of like I'm not gonna say it, but it's kind of like blah 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 movie." And I'm like,
Oh
Oh.
my god, I would have been so mad, bro.
and you know what movie I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what movie you're talking about. Oh, I would have been so mad. But really, I want to do this quick.
Yeah.
I was surprisingly happy with this movie. I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would. And I think really a lot of that rests on the chemistry between Andy Samberg and Kristen Milioti. I think their chemistry is instant spark on screen. Instant.
Yeah.
And they really carry the movie's humor and its emotion with them. Like, the movie gets really deep. I wasn't expecting that. The movie gets like into like a lot of existential, nihilistic like themes and stuff that I really wasn't expecting. The movie is a rom-com. For those of you, I will say that the movie is a rom-com. It's genuinely funny. Like, I genuinely laughed out loud.
It's not your typical rom com.
Yeah, it's definitely not your typical. Like, if you
It's a well written rom com with a great twist.
yeah, like if you like How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, which I also literally just saw.
That's one of the best.
It's good. It's like different from those. So if you're expecting that kind of rom-com, I don't think you're gonna like Palm Springs. But if you like comedies or movies with twists, I think you'll like it. It's highly enjoyable. It's funny. It's deep. It's emotional. And the performances are great. J.K. Simmons is great. Which really, I think the movie rests on those three. Simmons, Samberg, and Milioti, and I think they knock it out of the park. I have to give this to Hulu. I think for this being Hulu's first original, I think it's great. And for me personally, it's not the best movie I've seen this year. Well, if you count Hamilton. If you're not counting Hamilton, then yeah, I guess it is, in my opinion, the best movie I've seen this year, at least so far. And it's the most I've enjoyed a movie, like a 2020 movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. I know you feel the same way. I think we both rated it the same, like 4 out of 5s all around.
Yeah, I believe I gave it a 4. I love the movie. Like I said, it's not your typical rom-com. And I can appreciate a rom-com here and there. Like, there's a lot of, really corny rom-coms that, you could watch, get like a laugh or two in. But this one all around is extremely funny. Like, from start to finish, you're laughing, and it's cute. It has its cute moments between the characters. And like I said, the twist, it's very clever and unique. And although we've seen this kind of twist in film before, it brings something new to the table, and I can really appreciate that.
Okay.
I really enjoy this movie, but I really want to talk about spoilers. So, I'm ready when you are.
You're ready? We're at an hour 27 minutes in. I think no spoilers, because I don't want to spoil. I don't want to give this away to anyone who's seen it.
Okay.
Who hasn't seen it? I don't want to give it away. We could talk spoilers next episode. But
That's
I want to
fine.
get.
No, that's fine.
Because I know a lot of people haven't seen this movie, and the twist isn't anything like crazy.
That's actually that's fine. I would rather not talk about spoilers because I actually want people to go out and actually
like I
watch
legit
it.
only
It's literally
know.
on Hulu.
I legit only know like 3 people who have seen this movie.
Yeah, I don't know many people at all that have seen it, and so I actually agree with you. Let's not talk about spoilers. I want people to actually go out and watch this.
Well,
Like, if you're listening to this, please.
You have to agree with me. I'm your boss.
I hate this guy.
Uh,
Bro, your Twitch bio literally says John King's intern.
my Twitch bio, no, it doesn't. That was
Guy
changed.
changed it.
That was of course I changed it.
This guy has hidden agendas.
So watch Palm Springs. The twist isn't anything crazy, but it's definitely fun. This guy's looking at my Twitch so fast.
Film
fingers-
watcher, video
his-
game player, air breathe.
His fingers have never moved that fast. So Palm Springs, it's on Hulu. Definitely watch it. We'll probably talk about it more next episode. Because I really want to give people a chance to watch it. because it is.
Yes, please watch it and tweet us. You know, message us on Instagram, comment on Instagram, whatever. Like, let us know what you thought about it. I really want to know what people think about this movie because I actually think it's super clever and really well written. Andy Samberg, like, he does a lot of shit movies and shows, or not shows.
I
but
like
he
Andy
does a lot of shit
Samberg.
movies.
I like Andy Samberg.
I love him. Yeah, I love him. But I mean, let's not get it twisted. Like, he's done some stupid ass shit. But this is something that he's like, I think he had a lot of input on that is really fucking good. It's really good.
I'd say it's probably his most like mature role.
I could agree with that.
And I think he helped write it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he had a ton of input in this movie. Like, I think he produced it and everything. So
that's Palm Springs. John and I both really liked it. We both gave it 4 out of 5s on Letterboxd.
Has a 97% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, definitely good. Definitely worth your time. And I think that pretty much wraps up this week's episode.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else to talk about.
Yeah, pretty much. So, like I said, it's good to be back. It's good to finally be back.
Yeah, we'll definitely try to
we're,
you know, release more content.
Yeah, we're gonna continue releasing content out weekly, on our Instagram and Twitter daily. Definitely gonna start uploading stuff to the YouTube, or at least our episodes for now. We have bigger plans for our YouTube. However, that's gonna take some time, to get all that stuff into fruition. We're gonna keep you guys posted on that when it comes near.
Yeah, a couple news and things that we will that we want to talk about, but we gotta wait.
Yeah. In the meantime, follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Letterboxd, everything. You're gonna find all that stuff in the description down below. And for real, make sure to hit that motherfucking like button, that MF subscribe button, so you can see our faces every week. Maybe I might blur out John's.
Oh,
I don't know. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You're a beautiful man. You're a handsome man, John.
I wish I could say the same about you.
I knew that was coming. So,
like, damn it, the one time I get a compliment, I have to counter it.
So then, let us know what you guys think about this video setup. If there's any improvements, we're probably gonna do this until at least COVID ends. If you guys like it, we might even keep it. However, eventually we would like to start recording like in person, like at a table or something.
Yeah, that's the end game.
But in the meantime, let us know what you think. Let us know how we can improve, and stay safe.
Wear your masks.
Wear your masks. Social distance. Stay safe.